back again for another episode of the world's famous Cousin Cocktails podcast. I'm Ron. This is Rube. Say what up, Rube.
What's going on? You back again? Go ahead, sit back, get your drinks ready. You already know what time it is.
That's right. And as we do every week, we started off with a drink. So, Rube, tell us, what are we drinking this week?
This week, we got another tequila for y'all.
Ooh.
We got El Mayor tequila, courtesy his mom and my aunt. We're going to go ahead and take a shot of this, let you know how it is. As a neat pour, then we're going to have a cocktail that we concocted, like always. We'll let you know how that's working for us as well. And then, if you want to try it later on, be our guest.
That's right. So, like I said, that was a gift from my mother, Father's Day gift to both of us, donating to the Cousin and Cocktails podcast. So, she gave us a little something straight from the streets of Mexico, as Rube says. This El Mayor. This looks like a giant bottle of death to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of tequila. I drink it, but I don't like it too much. So we'll see how this do. We got a Blanco again, like we had last time with the Epsilon. We had Blanco then as well.
Right.
One of these weeks we're gonna squeeze a Reposado in there. But as of right now, let's go with this Blanco El Mayor.
And you know it's 40 proof, and you know it's 80%. It's 80 proof, 40% by volume, just like any of your ordinary tequilas. But this is our first time trying this, so we'll give you our thoughts on it.
Ooh, Lord. Let's take it. You know what? Actually, it don't smell as strong.
It does to me.
It do? To me, it don't smell as strong as that Epsilon.
Epsilon?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out.
You know what?
Not bad.
It ain't.
Not bad at all.
Okay, El Mayor. You need to go south of the border.
Like we said, I don't know the price tag of this particular tequila because it was gifted to us. But from first glance, first hits of it, that is not bad.
Now, is it just me, or did it taste a little sweet to you?
Yeah, it got a sweet note on the back of your tongue. You could taste that sweet note, but it's not a tequila that is gonna make you like, oh man.
Yeah.
It don't give you that effect.
Yeah.
And it's a decent tequila.
I don't know if that note hit me on the front of the tongue or the back of the tongue, but I know it felt like it was a little note of something sweet. Like almost, when you order margaritas and stuff and they say you want salt on the rim or sugar on the rim. Like, to me, that's like the equivalent of having some sugar around the rim.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't that strong. Like, I taste sugar crystals while
Right,
I'm drinking
yeah.
But it got a little hint of something sweet.
Yeah, something sweet in there. I can't put my finger on it. And I'm usually the one that's breaking down the alcohol. But
And this is a step above. So, that one tequila I couldn't pronounce the last time, that Tres Generaciones. 3 generations, however you say that in Spanish. This one right here, it says for over 4 generations. We have been perfecting the art and craft of growing agave and distilling tequila. We continue this day with the age-old process handed down to us by the generations. Every sip represents this hand-earned legacy. So, okay, El Mayor.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, well, that's
So
some good tequila.
at your local liquor store, at your state liquor store.
State beverage. If you're in Langston, Oklahoma, ask Miss Meeks if they got that trailer back there for that liquor store in that trailer. See if she got some El Mayor down there.
Yeah, check that out. I recommend it.
Yeah, hey, I'm not gonna lie, that will make it to the rotation.
Yeah, I believe so.
Stop watching hip hop videos. There's other tequilas out there besides
Casamigos.
Yeah, and Patron. All right, so what we got? Very first topic.
So we're gonna jump right into it. Been all over the news. We're gonna talk about the Shaun Watson and the settlement cases, and also his hearing coming up on June 28th, this coming Tuesday.
Okay, so basically the rundown. We touched on it a couple episodes ago. Shaun Watson was facing 24 pending civil litigations for accusations of sexual assault, sexual misconduct. He said he wanted to clear his name. At first, both him and the prosecuting attorney, Busby, said that there wasn't a settlement pending. However, that was lip service because 20 of the 24 cases have now been settled. So, you know, I'm kind of on the fence about that. It seems like it was a no-win situation either way you go.
Yeah.
For those who said he was innocent, it was like, oh, he's never going to settle them cases. You know, he's innocent, prove his innocence, don't settle with nobody. And as soon as he settled, they was like, oh, the NFL forced him to settle.
Right.
But then on the other side, there's people that was like, oh, he's guilty. He needs to settle these cases and get it behind him. If it was me, I would settle the cases and, you know, hurry up and put this behind me. And as soon as he settled, those same people was like, see, I told you he was guilty. Because if he was guilty, why would he have settled? So it was like a no-win situation. Either way it goes.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing for him to settle. I think it looks as if, like Charles Barkley always said, he settled cases because he didn't want them to drag out. Mm-hmm. So I can understand the settlements. I just don't understand why these women was like, oh, we don't want to settle. We want to take it to trial. And then all of a sudden you were like, oh, we're going to settle. And I think the other four that held out, they're holding out for more money. I don't think it's nothing like, oh, we got something here and let's go flip it to another criminal trial. They just holding out for a little more bread.
And whatever that Solis, Ashley Solis, man, she's carrying the flag for that whole thing because she was the first one. She's the one that was crying. She's the first one on the HBO special. And then the attorney, Busby's, named her specifically 4 times in his statement. Saying if it wasn't for her, that this wouldn't have happened. She was brave. She stood out. So I don't know what the details is of hers particularly. I want to say she's the one where after Deshaun was massaging her, she started crying. And probably. They noticed, did you make her cry? But it's interesting to see. But as news broke today, just a couple hours ago, actually, the trial, well, not so much the trial, the negotiations as far as how long he's going to get suspended.
Right, yeah.
It's this coming Tuesday.
Right.
And everybody's throwing a lot of stuff out there. You know, there's some people that say 6 to 8 games, or some people say no more than 10. Everyone has a source nowadays. I read one source that said indefinite suspension, and then another source that said a year is the very minimum.
So I think that this, when they say lengthy, I'm thinking there's no way he's getting less than a year.
And they say unprecedented suspension as well. So, but I'm going to say, what could be more unprecedented than Art Rice? Because he's suspended indefinitely. So what's more unprecedented than that? But what I really think goes heavily against Deshaun Watson, has absolutely nothing to do with him, was that congressional hearing with Washington.
Yeah.
So they had a 3-hour congressional hearing with Washington, and Dan Snyder declined to show up for the hearing, but Roger Goodell was there. And did you watch that thing?
I did.
Oh, I watched it. I was bored at work, so I watched all 3 hours. So let me tell you, they had senators from not all 50 states, but they like had them lined up, and they had Goodell on Zoom, and they were all like one by one asking him questions. Did you know this? Did you know that?
Right.
How come you didn't act on this? How come you didn't do nothing today? Is it true you did this? And he had to sit there and basically take the brunt of all that stuff Dan Snyder did over the last 20 years. And then he had to basically answer to it. So it was so much dirt that came out that I'll quickly go over it. You know, just that Dan Snyder had allegations of sexual assault. He paid off a whole bunch of women so that it never came to light. Members of his staff had accusations of sexual assault, and he knew about it, didn't punish them, didn't do anything about it. Then when an investigation was going against him, Dan Snyder at first was one of the presiding members over the allegations. So before they knew that the allegations was against him specifically, and they thought it was just against the Washington Commanders as a whole, he was presiding over that. So he was like, oh yeah, come on, we'll investigate this. Until they found out, like, no, you the person that they investigated. So it took, I want to say they said 6 weeks before they found out that he was one of the people involved. And then Goodell stepped in and told him he can't be a part of the investigation no more but the Congress brought it up. Like, you mean to tell me y'all didn't know for 6 weeks that the women were filing claims against him? So how are you letting him preside over his own investigation?
Yeah, that's fishy.
And then the part that, well, we could do a whole episode on this. The part that was most dirty is he hired private investigators to follow the women that were accusing him of sexual allegations that was trying to sue him, just so he could dig up dirt on them to use it against them so that they couldn't sue him. So he had the investigators.
How is this man still an NFL owner?
They asked him that. They asked Goodell that too. One of the congresswomen was like, Roger Goodell, will will you promise to get rid of Roger Goodell? I mean, to get rid of Dan Snyder and remove him as owner of Washington? And his answer was, I don't have power to do that. So, and they said for Roger Goodell said himself, like, I have never seen workplace, hostile workplace, hostile environment as bad as I've seen with Washington. And the thing is, they was asking, well, how come you didn't do anything about it? How come you didn't do this or that? And he kept on saying, oh, they faced unprecedented amount of discipline. We fined them more than we had fined any other club. But that's all they did was fine. Like, he didn't remove him. He didn't let him. He said, or
it sounds like a Clippers situation.
Yeah, but the Clippers was able to get rid of Donald Sterling, but they can't do nothing against Goodell. And then he was like, ever since this came to light, he hasn't been over the day-to-day operations because Dan Snyder stepped down and let his wife take over as CEO. So Goodell's trying to say, oh yeah, for the last year he hasn't been involved with Washington at all, but everybody know in the background he's still making all the moves.
Yeah, he's still the king of the board.
Yeah.
Right.
So because of that, and because of Goodell's lack of, punishment for Washington, I feel like now this all happens around the same time with Shaun Watson. Goodell got to make up for lost time. Like he has to show, like, I'm not gonna let this happen again, like it happened with Dan Snyder. Off with his head. And I feel like they really. At first, I was a little more optimistic. Like, nah, he gonna get 6-8 games. But the way he got grilled by the members of Congress, like, nah, Deshaun might be.
Yeah, he might be out sitting down for a year.
Yeah. Next topic of the day. All right, Rube, what we got for topic number 2?
NBA draft. It's always a hit or miss with Cleveland. Like, oh, we drafted Jamal Crawford. Oh, we traded Jamal Crawford. Oh, now it's another draft. We're gonna take Anthony Bennett. Oh, why we take Anthony Bennett? Because he's built like LeBron James. This draft, I believe we got it right. Okay. And with Abaji, I think he could come in right away, play that 3 spot that we need, a scoring wing. And I think he could come out as, I'll say 15 to 17 points a game this year as a rookie. I believe he was the most ready player in the draft because of his age, because of his experience. And the freshmen look good. They always looking at upside. Yeah, Paolo looked it good. Chet looked it decent in moments. Duran looked it good in moments. He showed flashes. Jalen showed flashes. But Abaji showed leadership. He showed NBA ready. He showed NBA body. Y'all see that dude in the NCAA national title? He looked like the most ready player on that floor.
Yeah, so I don't understand why they getting some of the flack. He's a senior. So since when is a senior and bad thing? They're trying to give him. They're trying to come down on him because he's 22 already. Right. Since when is 22 old? Like, I wish I was 22 still. Like, how much stuff you didn't know yet, or even physically. I feel like my body didn't mature. Like I reached the peak physically of all the stuff I could do to like 26, 27.
Yeah, I like 27.
Yeah. So he still got 5 years of NBA ball, and he's an athlete. A professional athlete. So that's one thing. But I'm not gonna lie, Rube. I ain't know a damn thing about this NBA draft. Like, ever since the one and dones have come in, since players don't stay in college at least 2 years, I don't know nothing about these players because it seems like they go through the system so fast. Like, if you don't start prepping them and watching them in high school, you really don't know nothing about them in college. And then also, like, it might just be me. Like, I swear they don't show as many college games on TV as they used to. Like, when I was in high school, I swear college basketball was on all the time, especially like on ESPN too. Yeah. Like, you used to watch a lot of college basketball. Star players were at least juniors in college. Yeah. So, like, when the tournament came around all the time, there was a household name. After the tournament was over, at the start of the next year, you was like, man, so North Carolina's going to be cold because they got this guy and this guy and this guy coming back. Plus, I heard they got a freshman or something like that. Now, it's like you got the whole starting 5 of uncommon freshmen, and if you didn't watch the McDonald's All-American game, you don't know who the hell none of these people are. So, like, when the tournament time comes, hell, I'm basing off of jerseys. Like, oh, I like North Carolina jersey. Maryland make a pretty good jersey sometimes. I got to go with Dayton because they in Ohio. And it's like, to me, you really don't even know unless you are a hardcore college connoisseur.
Right.
You don't know what the hell you getting. So I'm not gonna lie, Rube. I know one name of this NBA draft, and that's the player we drafted. Elijah. I don't know nobody else. When the dude went number 1, they said it was a shot, Paulo or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know that was a shot. Like, was he not supposed to go number 1? Like, to me,
see this. I'm an avid basketball person anyway. Basketball is my favorite sport, so I know who is who. I don't even get into these guys until they hit college. Because I don't really pay attention to the rankings. Like, rankings now for basketball is so overplayed. They got third graders talking about they're number 1 in the country. Like,
but there's some players though that I knew about in high school. So like Colin Sexton, I knew about in high school because I remember like, oh man, that dude had a jumper in high school.
Right.
And then he ended up going to Alabama. Zion Williamson, I knew about in high school because he was dunking on everybody in high school. But then even further back, OJ Mayo, we knew about in high school. Of course, LeBron, we knew about in high school. So it's like some of these players you hear about in high school.
Right, yeah.
But some of these, like RJ Barrett, I remember I knew in high school, and Andrew Wiggins, because he was supposed to be the next LeBron, I knew about in high school. Thon Maker, they was talking about in high school.
Yeah, he was 22 in high school.
He was, but yeah. And then I want to say like one of Manute Bowles' kids is supposed to be.
Yeah, Bobo.
Yeah, I know about him in high school.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't catch him in high school.
That's the thing, like, you got so many outlets now. So, high school is really the push. College, especially now with the NIL deals, like, college is like, like, they'll go G League at night, or if they do go to college, it's a good thing now because you're getting paid. But, like, when I say I don't really get to them in college, because college basketball is the best basketball to play if you want to learn how to play basketball.
Yeah, I did.
Like, playing high school and NBA basketball is mainly iso ball. High school basketball is mainly iso ball. So when you watching these guys in a system, you see that, oh, he know how to flare cut. Oh, he know how to pin down. Oh, he know how to backdoor. And then you see, like, a lot of guys, it's just one-on-one players, and then they can't translate it to the league.
But it's so crazy. It's like, how come in college you know how to play defense, you slap the floor, you don't foul, you don't flop, you back cut, you flare cut, you pick and pop. You know what I'm saying? You set back screens for your teammates or whatever. You call plays and run them. You flex cut. You get to the NBA, man, it's 4 out. It's 1 at the top. It's pick and roll. Yep. It's a 3-1 pick and roll. Yeah, 4 down. And ain't nothing but space the floor and spot up. One person drive, everybody else play. And it's like I don't even swear the NBA run plays, because unless you're a Golden State. Golden State to me is the only team that actually run plays and plays team basketball. Yeah. Like everybody.
Well, the Cavs run plays, because I call them plays.
The Cavs run plays too. The Cavs do run plays too, because all those lobs and stuff. A lot of pick and roll. You know, a lot of overplaying and back cuts.
Hand off, pin down.
Yeah. Which leads us to Labaji again. Of course, what I had to do as soon as we drafted, like, oh, that's great. YouTube, what are we getting? So what I have got from him is he is great with the handoff jumper. So what I see as weaknesses is ball handling. Yeah. He's not a very strong dribbler, and he needs help on his floater. His floater game looks a little weak. He can jump. He's very athletic. He plays above the rim. So if you don't get back, he will dunk on you. Right. But what I like is when he's on. There's like no hesitation to jumper. Right. So he got NBA range for sure.
And he plays both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
That's why I like him.
And he's very good at the corner 3.
Yeah.
Very good.
And another thing about Abaji is he's someone that's going to come in and know right away how to play. He's not going to have to be like, oh, I got to come along and learn this game. And that's the thing with, I think, a lot of freshmen. And that's why, perfect example, look at Orlando Magic. They got so many first-round picks, but they've been having top picks for the last 5 years, but they can't get along because all they're looking at is highlights. Yeah. Like, you don't really see them knowing how to play the game of basketball. And I think with these last 2 drafts they had, they're going to start to turn the corner. Orlando. Yeah, just because of the players they drafted.
And which is also a good thing going back to Cavs. Why I like the fact that they took him, he's so much older. Right. Because I didn't want another, like, Cavs was like one of the youngest teams in the NBA already. I didn't want an 18, 19-year-old when you already are the youngest team. Maybe. Right. Because I wanted somebody who was a little bit more seasoned. So if I would have traded, if it were me, I would have tried to trade the pick and get a veteran. But us taking a senior that's 22, a little bit more mature, like you said, already knows how to play. I feel like that's a perfect fit for what we already have.
Yeah.
My question for you is, to wrap it up on the Cavs, with the draft pick of Abaji coming on, who do you feel like is most at risk now to be the odd man out now for the Cavs? Because for me, it's between Okoro and Colin.
So, the odd man out, like in a rotation, or just like we could see getting rid of him?
Both. Like in the rotation, whose minutes is going to get cut? Because if he's coming in and putting up 15,
I could see Okoro losing minutes because we still got Karis LeVert. And we could go bigger on the floor with Karis LeVert and Abaji. Abaji being 6'6", and Karis LeVert being 6'5", 6'6". So we can go bigger with Okoro. He's really like 6'3", maybe 6'4". And I can see us moving Sexton if it came down to it. Because even though Sexton is he's that spark, but with the way we played last year, and just seeing how we played and how we kept our opponent's percentage down, and we raised our points per game, I could see us still running that same system without Sexton alluding to that.
If Abaji can come in and give instant points, I'm good with it, because that's what I feel like we really lacked when Sexton went down.
Yeah, we needed somebody who could get his own bucket.
But at the same time, Sexton is a liability on defense, not because of the hustle, but because of the height. So if Abaji can come in and stand in front of somebody and play some D, and give me the points that Sexton was giving me, I can see us getting rid of Sexton.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that brings us to everybody's favorite part, the cocktail of the week.
Woo!
Drew, what's the cocktail this week?
Cocktail this week, we got a Mexican mule. So, with this Mexican mule, we made this with the El Mayor. Sorry about that. We got 2 parts tequila.
Say, Urban Meyer got his own tequila.
2 parts tequila, 1 part pineapple juice, 1 part ginger beer, and a half squoze and lime. Garnish of that lime.
Squoze.
Got you a Mexican mule.
All right. Mexico. Let's see what this talking about.
Little condensation on the cup. You know this thing ice cold.
Yes, it is. Ain't got a little garnish. Don't do that. Don't do lime. Good.
Oh, that's refreshing.
I almost drunk that down.
Right.
I almost drunk that down.
Woo! That's a good one right there.
You know how I knew this was going to be good? Because it had ginger beer in it. And like we talked about before, if a mixed drink has ginger beer, you halfway.
Sign you up, huh?
Yeah, you halfway home. With ginger beer, you halfway to the promised land. It's hard to mess up a mixed drink when ginger beer is invited to the party.
Yeah, I'll say the same.
All right, so like we do every week, Mexican Mules is on the menu. You got your options to choose from. You got your whiskey lemonade that we had. You got your dark and stormies, what we have with the Kraken. And what else?
Got the blue potion.
Yeah, got that liquid Viagra. That blue potion.
And then you
tequila sunrise.
Yeah, tequila sunrise.
Epsilon. And now we got these Mexican Mules. How would you rank this as opposed to some of the other cocktails we've had?
I'm putting this. I'm gonna go to probably right under the whiskey lemonade for me.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I'm a whiskey guy. Y'all know that. So I'll go this right under the whiskey lemonade. Happy hour. Yeah, you can bring those over.
Yeah,
I'll take them.
I'm good too. It's definitely top 3 for me.
Yeah. Okay.
That whiskey lemonade was hitting. It was pretty good. I ain't gonna lie, Rube. That blue stuff. That blue stuff was pretty decent. That blue juice is pretty decent. And then I'll probably jump off on these Mexico Mules after that. It was pretty good too. But you know who's the clear cut number 1?
Which one?
Them Henny barbecue out.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you give me those Henny wings with one of these, we in there. We in there.
Yeah, you mix that with them Henny wings, boy, yeah, that's a recipe for success. Right?
We in there.
Yeah. Okay, last topic of the day, Rube. Let's talk about them Guardians.
Yeah.
Got a little stick ball jumper. Yeah. We ain't forget y'all. So the Guardians currently tied at number 1. They were percentage points above Minnesota Twins. They did lose today to Boston. They lost the last 2 for Boston. They lost 2 out of 3. They finish up the series tomorrow. So with them losing today and yesterday, it will end their streak of 7 straight series that they had won the series.
Right.
So the Guardians being the surprise of, I want to say Major League Baseball right now. Everybody counted them out. You know, the Cleveland owner, the Dolans, are notorious for not spending cash. And you know, in baseball, there's no salary cap, so you can go get whoever you want. Cleveland's owner is known for not spending any money and letting some of our best talent go away.
Right.
But with that being said, and everybody down on them, I'll be damned. Cleveland in first place. So, what do you think? Is this a flash in the pan, or do you think that Cleveland is a legit playoff contender? We ain't saying World Series, but can they sustain this? We're probably about a third of the way through the season. Do you feel like they can sustain this the rest of the year and possibly push for the playoffs?
At 64 games in, it's iffy with me. It's because the pitching is not there.
Which is strange because usually that's
our strength.
That's what you can hang the hat on is the pitching.
And I literally, legitly watched the whole game yesterday. And I'm like, what is our pitching doing? Like, our pitching is not there now. And before the season, they were saying our bats, we needed more bats. They had said we needed more bats before the season, and our bats been pretty good. So I think if we could sustain our bats and kick our pitching up about a notch or two, I could see us getting to the playoffs, and not as a wild card. I could see us legitimately being in the playoffs.
So what that sounds like is, come trade deadline, if we make a move for a starting rotation guy, do you think that we might be? And
I don't even think we need a starter. We just need somebody in the bullpen that can come out 2-3 innings. Keep us afloat.
For me, I feel like what we need is a scary bat. And let me tell you what I mean. Like, for right now, we got one scary bat.
Yeah, well, Jose.
Yeah, we need 2. And what I mean by a scary bat is, I mean when this person comes up to bat, the other team is like, oh shit, man, there's a chance that this dude might hit a home run. And for right now, the only scary bat is Jose. And I feel like there's only so many games that you're going to win off of pitching with no batting or a hit or two. To me, like, to correlate it to football, it's like having a great defense and your offense is trash. It's like there's only so many games the defense is going to run a pick in for a touchdown or get that fumble or get that sack or something, and the offense get the ball on the plus 20 or something like that. Like, eventually, one of these games, offense, you got to show up and put 15 points. Give us 3 touchdowns, just one game, please. And for me, with the Guardians, that's what I feel like. Like, Jose gonna get his, but who besides Jose can consistently be a threat at the plate to hit a home run? Now, Quan came out early. He was getting a lot of contact. It was a guarantee for a while at a single or a double. He was getting on base, but not a home run threat. Last night, for example, we had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning, and we couldn't bring nobody in. Today, we had, I want to say, 2 men on when we was down 3-2, and we couldn't get a hit to push somebody through. And surprisingly enough, when we were, I want to say, up 2-1, and Bieber was pitching in the gym, when he gets at 6th inning, gives up a hit, somebody on first base. Get up another hit, somebody on second base, and next thing you know, the third person coming hit a home run, and ended up being the difference in the game. We ended up losing 4-2. So that's what I need for me to believe that we are a formidable presence, that we are a playoff presence. I need one more bat. The pitching I can deal with as it is right now. It may not be as good as we are accustomed to, but it's good enough. But for me, it's the bat. And Naylor every now and again will get hot, hit a couple. The rookie that they traded for, well, not the rookie, but the young guy that they traded, Francisco Lindor, for Andres Jimenez. Yeah. Like, for right now, I feel like Cleveland's winning that trade because to me, Jimenez and Lindor are playing about even. So if to me, like I said, remember that expression in football, even is leaving. For me, even is leaving for us because he's younger and he's way cheaper. So for us giving the Mets Lindor and getting him back, and he's doing just as good as Lindor is, hell, that's a win for us because y'all paying Lindor all that bread, and we got all that money left, and our guys doing just as good. Same thing with the, which I'm pretty sure you didn't know, we traded who's that one pitcher for Cleveland? They call him Sunshine last year. The tall white dude.
Oh,
We
yeah,
traded him to the Padres. I like that guy too.
Yeah,
He's the one that got in trouble for COVID, and he went out and him and the other pitcher was in the hotel.
In Chicago.
And brought protocol. Oh, I cannot think of his name.
I can't think of his name either.
But Sunshine, we traded him to the Padres, and do you know who we got back for him? Josh Naylor.
Okay.
Amal Rosario, Owen Miller, and one more guy. But out of those, it's 4 guys, but all 4 of them start for the Indians, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like, man, if I had to put faith in any front office in Cleveland sports, hands down, hands down, hands down, because it seems like every time they trade somebody, like we might be mad about them, but the players that we end up getting back end up being good.
Yeah.
And it's like we always trade our players at the peak, and then they go on and end up winning Cy Young or something somewhere else. But the Cy Young player that we end up giving away, we usually end up getting like 3 starters back in rotation. And I can't remember a time where we made a horrible trade. We was like, what the hell was that? Because it seemed like every person on our roster and our farm system, we were like, we're trading for somebody from AAA and he's supposed to be good. They always end up being good.
Yeah, I could say we never flubbed on a trade that I can remember. Even when we got rid of Lee and Sabathia, we still got back decent players. And like my thing with the Guardians is just like the excitement was there with the pitching. Like you knew, but that's the thing. You knew when our pitching come up, the most they giving up bullpen to starters 3 runs. But now you're like,
yeah, because after
give up 2 here, it might give up 3 here.
After Bieber, like you really, everybody's holding your breath.
Right.
Like, and that's not to say they're bad because Tristan McKenzie is decent.
I like him. I like him.
He remind me of my son. He remind me of Jameer.
Tall
skin and bones. Every time my dad watches, like, get that kid a sandwich. A sandwich is something. That boy's so damn skinny, like a gust of wind and just full over. But he's decent when you catch him on a good day.
Right.
Zach Plesac is good when you catch him on a decent day. And then Aaron Savali is good when you catch him on a decent day. But there's no guarantees. Where before we was right
1 through 5. Was like
everybody was lights out.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody was lights out. So yeah, just that, and like I said, they ain't got no scary bats. You think about even that '90s when they were the Indians, when they were selling out, it's because from 1 to 9, everybody was getting you like.
And Jacob was spending that money too.
Yeah.
Jacob was spending that money.
And everybody was a threat. And now it's like I said, I talked about those guys even when we got back from the Padres. Miller not really a threat. Rosario might get on base, but he ain't hitting no long balls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we had more threats to home runs in the prior years than we do now, and that's what I feel like we need. All right. Well, quote of the week. You got something?
Quote of the week. We gonna go with God is love and love yourself.
And there it is. Until next time. Peace.
It's like